What up, bro? You ready for
What's
this?
up, brother? I'm ready. Let's do it.
I'm ready for this too, dog. So we'll jump into it, bro. USR update. There is no new update coming from the website. We don't have any alerts coming out. But for this section, I would like to shout out USR Florida. Make sure you're following them on Instagram. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube for USARC and USARC Florida. They have been doing more and more content, pushing the social media side of things, trying to get more information out there. There are all kinds of updates. I'd spend another hour just doing all the miscellaneous things that they have in those videos. Man, USARC biggest thing right now is the Lacey Act is still pending. There was some kind of amendment added, like by one of those losers that are riding with Rubio and trying to seal up all the loopholes. So just stay tuned, keep your eyes peeled on that one. Um, yeah, it's a thing. We're facing it again. So, man, I don't look like I've never. I
What's
actually
up,
talk.
everybody?
I have a voice.
I'm,
How's
I'm gonna shout out the sponsors real quick. We got Reptile Crew,
user?
CMB
What's wrong, son?
Reptiles.
Hey, shout out to the fam. Got to kick it with Bill this weekend. Got to kick it with Dana. Man, you know what? Shout out the other sponsors, and then I'm gonna touch on that real quick before we go live
Go ahead.
or go into each
Oh,
one. No, shout out the rest of
no,
the
all
sponsors.
right. I'm gonna shout out Stitches and Clothing and Clothes. I'm sorry, not clothing. Stitches and Clothes. Is a new sponsor. He's making our pretty much everything a lot. Shirts, hats, you name it. That guy can embroider. He does shirts. Like I said, um, he's coming on the show in August, so that's going to be interesting. We're going to have him on. It's going to be a good show, and then we're going to shout out KC Reptile Labs. We got South Bay Reptiles, Josh the homeboy. Ship your reptiles,
Hey,
and then we got Ship Your Reptiles, Blue Ton Republic, the guy who's responsible for the logos that you see all over this and the shirt here.
oh, I'm wearing a Gator member shirt. My bad.
and
I was wearing it yesterday though. Flexing.
then
Yep.
and then Legion Tactical, uh, another sponsor.
Pew 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 pew.
Yep, who does
Shout out to
guns.
the
He
homies.
customizes guns and all that stuff, all that good stuff. Also does shirts and uniforms. So we'll see what's up on that. On that, go ahead, Levi. Talk about CMB.
Oh man, so just dude, I'm telling you, bro. Like I made a post, like a little appreciation post to Bill and Dana and CMB, the entire family over there. Man, with or without a sponsorship, like I've been riding with CMB for the longest time, and the sponsorship is like it's great, it's fucking awesome. I love the fact that CMB sponsors us and supports us in the way that they do. I love Bill, I love Dana, and everything that they're doing over there. But man, like when I say stop into that shop, I mean stop into that shop. Like they don't need to make sales. And here's the evidence in it. Yesterday, doors open. I'm fresh up in the shop. Bill's excited. Dana's excited. The whole time I'm in there, there's like a couple of families that come in, man. And the interaction that these families had with Dana and Bill will stay with them forever. They're exactly what we keep trying to push the industry to be. Like these kids walk in, they're interested in the reptiles. I got to get a little hands on with them too. But Dana took point and like showed these kids all the animals that they're working with, really got them involved. Those kids were so fucking excited, man. Like you could just see the fire starting to light in these little kids' eyes, man. Like one of them could have been more than 3 years old. Um, just an amazing experience I got to witness, and I was so in the moment I forgot to videotape it. I probably should have, but I'm horrible about this. Again, shout out to those that shall not be named. Social media doesn't scare me. I don't care for it. That's how present I am with social media. I think to videotape shit. No, I love to live in the moment. You know what I mean? Like I was so in the moment and just so enthralled with watching Dana interact with these kids and getting them excited, man. And there was never talk of sales or wanting to buy anything. It was just literally in the moment. Like here are these animals that you can enjoy, and this is what we work with. This is what Bill works with. This is what Caleb works with. Just absolutely amazing experience. Got to hang out with Bill. Bill got my kid like really excited and wanting to get into the super dwarfs again. As you got, if you follow my Instagram, my kid's on there holding a super dwarf. It's just an incredible experience, man. And anybody that's in Arizona, anybody that visits Arizona, go pop in and say what's up to CMB. Go say what's up to Bill. Go say what's up to Dana. Go say what's up to Caleb, Stella if she's in. Fucking amazing what they're doing over there, man. Such a good time. Just positive vibes all the way around walking into the moment that you walk out.
Oh yeah, bro. I love them too, bro. That's why I got them tattooed. Shit. I talked
Man,
to him.
who let MJ in here?
I was like, I talked to him when he posted the snake every time, dude. I'm like, damn, that snake is fire every time.
Bro. Oh, and then another fun update. Bill is going to be widening his horizons coming up here in the near future. So stay tuned. There are a lot of different shifts and changes coming. It's super exciting. So freaking exciting. Him and uh, Lee have some big things in the works. Have already done some big things, but they've got even more. Oh man, so exciting. So exciting for the horizons that are coming our way.
She just can't talk about it that much, huh?
No, I can't reveal too much about it, but I can say that there are things coming, and it's very, very exciting. Exciting for CMB, exciting for us, exciting for the industry. What you say we get the show on the road? Get
I'm
JC
ready,
in
bro.
there and
Whenever you're ready.
get rocking, bro.
All right, let's go.
People are sick of hearing me talk.
What? I doubt that,
Yeah, we'll see.
bro. Just sick of you making that face. All right, let's. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sexin and Flexin Live Sunday. I got my co-host Levi from FTL Reptiles, and we got John from
What's up, bro?
JC Reptiles. What's up, guy?
What's up, man? Welcome in, bro. How you living down
Thank
there?
you, thank you. Yeah, like I said, this is my first time, so bear with me, bro.
Nah, you're good, man.
We got you, bro. We got
It's
you.
so
You'll
random.
you'll
I was
get
like, all
comfortable.
right, why not? You know, it's always the first.
I was like, it's gonna be great. So go ahead and tell everybody like what you work with. You know what's
So,
going on over there, JC Reptiles.
for me right now, I'm working basically just retics and black dragons. I'm really trying hard with black dragons. It's it's not as easy as what people think. They're very like critical. Like some people, once you get the system with black dragons, then it would be easy. But I'm still like trying to adjust with those stuff. But yeah, I'm very focused on ritics. Um, I only do like 2, 3 projects at a time. I don't want to overwhelm myself. I'm like, it's just so different with other species like ball pythons, corn snakes. It's just you get overwhelmed so fast that it becomes a job already in a way, like I try to keep everything small, focus on what I want, and then just work on them, and then just like, you know so yeah.
Nah, man, I completely understand that. It's a thing with this industry, man. It sounds like
Mhm.
you chosen the fork in the road where you're not letting it get to the point where you're overwhelmed and you're ending
Right.
up in some of these other situations that we're seeing around the industry
Mhm.
as we speak, right? Where people
Mhm.
have got overwhelmed and lost control of the collection.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
it becomes a third job, bro, a second job. It's like your love for the reason why you got into it is no longer the reason, because it becomes a chore. It's already a job. You like, is the love there is no longer there if you're like mass producing, and then it's just, so that's why I like try to do like 2, 3 clutches at most, and then I'm happy for that season already. And then as long as I can move the, because with 2 clutches I know I can move all of them before the next clutch comes in. And then it's
Okay.
politics. You're not talking about ball pythons. You're having 5, 10 snakes in a season. You're talking about 50, 60 snakes in one season, and you're not the only one breeding. So moving 50, 60 snakes, it's not that easy too,
No, man, it's really not. I was talking to one of the old heads in the Colubra game that I talked to. Man, he's not real big on social media anymore.
Mhm.
He kind of got into it for like 30 seconds, and jumped out of it, right? But he had a really big season this year, and he moved. I think it was like 26 kings overseas.
Okay.
And he was like, "That's the only reason I'm doing this is because I'm able to move them overseas."
You have market outside, exactly.
Yeah, have you dealt with that yet? Like
Yeah,
talking about the numbers?
I'm on the process right now, so I cannot name them yet right now because it's on the works. But this, like all of this here, with the yellow stuff, is going to UAE. So it's just a matter of I completed the paperwork. It's just a matter of getting the approval. So once I get the approval for that, all of them are flying out. I think there's like 15, 16 snakes here, including the two paradox I got. So I'll show you this one. I'm sure you saw this already.
Hell yeah.
So this one's crazy. Do you see it? I don't know where the camera is, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
go
good.
a little up.
Yeah,
There you
come
go.
up
There
on-
you go.
oh. Yeah, look
Yeah.
at that, man.
so this one's a golden child cow. The guy's getting this.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this one's like in person, bro. I was like, oh my god, I was jumping when I cut this one. So there's two of them.
And you already dropping fire on the pod, bro? Whew.
Say what?
So you already dropping fire on the pod?
Yeah, just right now. There you go. This one's like, I like this a lot better for me personally because it has lesser paradoxing, and then I'm so bad at this thing, bro. There you go. That's better.
No, it's just a camera. It's different from
Yeah,
Instagram.
it's just weird. I'm using laptop right now. But yeah, so I like this a lot better because since they are cow, eventually they will get their spot. So But yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do right now. Sorry, it got loose. My bad.
Some more Valley Reptiles.
It's all tight here, bro. There you go. So yeah, if we can market outside the US, it's like great, bro. It's just not that easy. You know?
It's real. It definitely doesn't seem like it is, man. But it was like an eye opener, and I was
Mhm.
wanting to touch on that tonight. Actually, it's really cool that you opened up with the numbers.
Right.
That may be somewhere we could start moving some of the overstock
Right.
that we're seeing on
Mhm.
Morph Market and be able to control those numbers. Obviously, with you
Perfect.
adding in the lesser numbers, I'm focused on that myself. Anything that I produce, I want to make sure is either going to be able to stay here for its lifetime,
Mm-hmm.
if it comes to that, or it's going to be able to be moved. You know what I
Right.
mean? I don't want
Right.
stock just sitting there and an animal unaccounted for somewhere, floating around, ending up wholesale at a reptile shop, or ending up in a really
Exactly. Yeah, I
really crappy
I
condition.
never do like wholesale on reptile shop. Like I would rather the thing with mass producing stuff is that you end up forcing yourself to drop your prices just to move your animals. That's what other people are doing on why they end up selling on reptile shops because for a pied, let's say for a pied retic, if you go to reptile shops, they'll buy it wholesale $200 each. So all your work is worth $200 for something like that, And it's just unfair to the animals because they will go to cheap people that cannot take care of these animals.
So why not collab with like PetSmart? I mean, not PetSmart, but like pet shops.
Well, they try to like really like go low on you. It's just not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they gotta make a profit too. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
of
Like
course. Right. So they
it's a
pretty much end up having more profit than you. in a sense, you know. So you sell it 200, they're gonna sell it 600. I understand they're gonna keep it, but I think it's more on the pride itself, you know.
Yeah, and like
You know,
don't
1,000 retics, then sure, why not?
don't get me wrong. The's definitely a place for it. I know people that
Mhm.
make
Yeah,
you
there's
know
also a few like
they live
real
their lives on it, and
they do it.
with like the smaller colubrids, the smaller animals, the real popular trade animals. I get it,
Mhm.
like mass producing and getting them out to reptile shops and
Right, right.
getting the new people coming into the hobby, like that's necessary. But
That
like
does help a
the
lot.
retics, like that's dangerous, man. Like
It's a different.
I know,
Mhm.
we all know anybody that deals with retics in this community,
Mhm.
you have no business wholesaling out to reptile shops. They
Right, right.
don't belong to reptile shops unless you know that shop. Like I would wholesale out to CMB because
Mhm.
I know that Bill's going to do it the right way, but Bill doesn't even work with maintenance. He refuses to, just for the responsibility aspect of it.
Exactly.
So outside of that, I can't think of another place I built enough rapport with, and I'm not talking shit on any of the Arizona shops. I just don't have that rapport, or they just don't deal with it. Like
Right,
I'm
right.
seeing a lot of shops go, you know what? I'm good on the mainlands. I'll
Mhm.
work with some of the super doors, but we got to know the lineage and know the size and be able to tell these customers right. And I think it's a good move, right? It's a
Yeah.
movement that we want to get behind. That if a shop is going to do it, they need to do it the right way.
Yeah, as long as you know, like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. If you sell your, I don't have anything against reptile shops, but to the right reptile shops, you know, like not just random reptile shops that will sell it to like fucking 15-year-old kid, and then just because they're getting the money. So, you know, and then, yeah, you're right. Like, I don't think a lot of reptile shop will take mainlands because if it stays for 5 6 months, then that's a lot of food for them already.
Yeah, it's starting
Yeah.
to grow. They're starting to feed it more. They're starting to
Mhm.
lose that profit
With the
margin,
space. Exactly.
and that's something like if you're obviously involved in the mainlands, like that's something that somebody new coming into the hobby that wants to get into mainlands needs to know too, right? Like
Hmm.
when you make a clutch, a super door, or not super door, sorry, been talking about them all fucking weekend. When you make a clutch of mainlands, you can have upwards of 60 babies.
Yeah.
Like oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I'm seeing right now is people are already like developing when it comes to mainland. You're like you will barely see 60 clutch mainlands right now, because what people are doing with mainlands is that they're trying to, because what people did before is that they like feed and feed and feed all their mainlands, so you have like 18-footer female, so of course you're gonna get like a 60 clutch eggs. So now what breeders are doing is that they're trying to get the concept from super dwarfs, is that they try to feed less and then just power feed on the season. So now mainlands, you're getting like 20, 30 egg clutch, a healthy clutch. And then you're still getting like a super healthy 14-foot female.
I don't.
Does it
That
make
doesn't. Oh man,
not really?
that doesn't sound
John.
healthy though.
Mhm.
So how hard is it to establish a retic, a mainland baby retic?
To establish
Yeah,
it's
only because I know we got other people wanting to
Mhm.
know about retics,
right.
so I
You
just trying to
mean
get that
from the
info
very
out there.
beginning?
Yeah, in the very beginning, how hard is it to
So
establish a baby?
once it starts to eat the first meal, you have like 99% of the time they're like super hardy. They will eat all the time. So the first thing before you get a retic, you need to make sure you know you can fit in at least a 8x3 in one of the corner of your rooms. At least, you know, there's a very least you can get. So if you like before you get your first baby retic, you have to know that you have that space, because getting the retic is easy. It's the space that's not. That's why people are trying to move on super dwarves, but you know,
Even then, you need space though. Like that's what
it
people
does.
don't account for. Me and Bill were talking about it. Like, yeah, you ultimately, like, I don't know if the community would agree with this, but like with the super doors, right? Like everyone's chasing the footage. Oh, 9 feet, 14 feet, 13 feet,
Mhm.
11. And I've heard in some cases there's an 8, 7 and 8 foot out there somewhere.
Right.
but we're chasing the footage, right? And it's like that almost, I feel like, should be irrelevant. You should be planning for a mainland sized retic regardless,
Exactly.
because it has been seen where you've got 100% Kalatoa that breaks the rules and you wind up with a fucking massive retic.
Right.
But the one thing that I haven't seen in the super dwarves is the girth of a mainland, because that's really where the big true difference is that girth and the body mass on that animal. So yeah, you may not be able to shrink the footage to an ideal amount, but you can shrink that girth down.
The weight. Yeah, exactly. I think that's the one thing on super dwarfs, because if you have like a 10-foot super dwarf compared to a 10-foot mainland, the girth is like this to, you're still feeding large rats on those 10-footers compared to rabbits to those 10-footer mainlands.
Exactly, and that's where the big difference comes in. I would like to see the market kind of shift to that conversation and more, let's keep these enclosures up, let's keep them big.
And then
real quick,
and smaller snakes on the bigger enclosures. Exactly.
Coming back to the establishing mainlands, Chris, it's super easy.
Right.
Like you're
it's
talking
a matter of planning, I guess.
Yeah. See, the problem, right, JC? What I was trying to touch on earlier. Great lead way back to this, Chris. What people don't account for when they get the mainlands or they're breeding mainlands and they're brand new into it, like, yeah, you got the breeders that do break that mold and are 100% prepared for it financially, space, accounting for the feeders, man. Like, you don't understand how big these freaking animals get, and it's like you can't continue to feed them rats throughout their life. There is going to come a time where you're getting into rabbits, you're getting into pigs, you're getting into chickens, whatever your diet, the diet of your retic is, and that stuff's not cheap, man. It's really not. If you're dealing with multiples, like bless me, I got one. I'm good.
Not just the price. Looking for finding the supplier is the hardest part.
Bro, don't even get me fucking started right now. Like, I gotta figure out a way to get my rabbits from fucking SB Reptiles in California, bro. Like, I am not paying no fucking Rodent Pro, cold-blooded cafe fucking nonsense prices. Everybody's marked up. It's fucking, oh man.
Like, tell you this, with my feeders, I drive 4 hours going and another 4 hours going back just to get feeders, bro. I just fill up a trunk and then I'll be good for like maybe 5-6 months in the freezer, and then because I can't find any feeders in my area. That's
and where you at?
That you have to think about too. Jersey.
Oh, I hear about Jersey. Yeah,
Right.
Y'all have a hard time finding feeders out there.
Yeah, you can't find anybody. So I have to travel to PA, that is far PA. So that's one thing that you have to account to, if you can find the feeders for your snakes.
Yeah, and that's think about that. Like, now when you're breeding, like, and you have a brand new clutch on your hands, and people don't account for the holdbacks, right? Like the forced holdbacks. Not even like I'm going to voluntarily hold this animal back, but if you have a clutch of 30 and only 5 of them sell, that's 25 mainlands that you're sitting on top of. That's you don't sell 20 of those, man, and that's you're playing with fire, man. That
it's not easy.
It's not, man. It's terrible. That scares me.
Yeah, it did scare me my first time breeding it. I was like looking for people. Hey, can you wholesale? And then nobody was taking it. But at the end of the day, like a couple months after I sold out, I was like, no, I think the market's fine. So that's why that's a good point. That's also why I try to just do like 2-3 clutches at most, because what if I don't sell 20 after a year? Where am I gonna put it? I mean, I have space in a way for my new property, but it just doesn't make sense for me to hold, like, to not sell the last 20 snakes.
Yeah, exactly, man. It's definitely a tough situation to be in. Man, the retics, man, fucking mainlands.
It's hard. Let's just say it's not for everybody.
Definitely not.
Definitely not for everybody. Even if you're a breeder, it's still not for everybody.
See,
I'm just go ahead.
First. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm just trying to figure out how, like, people like mass produce retics and then
It's
house these babies because sometimes it's like 32 eggs in a clutch.
hmm
And see the dark side of it, JC, you know better than anybody else on what I'm about to talk on. If you're comfortable to comment, go ahead. If not, then this is 100% on me. Um, they call, man. After a year, if they can't sell these animals, or after an X amount of time, I've heard the time is even shorter. They end up feeding the snakes off because they're not going to invest that time, money, and space
right,
into an animal that they can't sell.
right.
And that's where I draw the line, right? Because we've had this calling conversation before.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not fully opposed to people breeding snakes as feeders because you're keeping a snake eating snake on its natural diet.
Right.
If that's your true prerogative, what's the difference between the snakes and the rats? That you favor the snakes because you have a bleeding heart for them,
Mhm.
because you work with them? That's not exactly justification to shun somebody for doing
Right.
something like that, but they have to have the proper intention. It can't be because you overbred and you slipped up and you got stuck with animals. After a year, that animal's fully established. It knows what life is. It's got a routine with you. It's not right. Now, fresh out of the egg, or if it's being raised to be a ginormous feeder and you're keeping the limitations or whatever and doing it the right way, then, I don't shun people
Right.
for it. But the calling that we're talking about, like, that's
I'm like,
because you overbred, that's not really right. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, like
It's not best
100%. I
practice.
mean, like, there's no point of overbreeding these things. Like, that's why, like, if you want to get into retics, especially for for the viewers that like really want to get into retics, focus on maybe 2, 3 projects at most that you really like, and then that you think it will sell. Like, because you're gonna end up, like you said, I know that there are people calling just because they overbred stuff, and then it doesn't make sense for them to have them already because, like, the amount of food they give is costing more than the snake itself already, and then it's consuming taking all the space and all that. That's why they're doing that. But it's just, I just, I don't support those kind of stuff. The only time I call are those, like, after it hatch, it just, there's no life in it. Like, that's the only time. I've never, like, man, I can't even kill a rat, bro. I can feed a live rat, but I cannot do it
You can't
myself.
pre-kill.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I can't do that either. Don't worry, brother.
I
I
just,
can't do
like,
it.
it's so hard to look at, you know.
No, for sure, man. I mean, as a person that was pre-killing all of us, I used to breed and pre-kill. I'd
Right.
never feed live. It's tough, man. It weighs on you after a while. Like,
It's
I understand where you guys are coming
right.
from on
The
that.
culling
It's hard.
is a very sensitive, like, thing that, people are doing it, but nobody really wants to admit they are doing it. And then they will be like acting like, oh, I don't do that, but they're doing it. Especially those people putting in like fucking 500 retics a year, 1,000 retics a year. Where are they gonna put it, bro?
Exactly. Where are they putting it and where is it going? I mean, the market's big,
Exactly.
but it's not that big. I mean, 2 + 2 is 4, man.
No.
You can't pull the wool over everybody's eyes, and it's it is definitely a sensitive subject. But again, like I said, if somebody's doing it for the right reasons,
Mhm.
I'm fully for it. But if you're
Right.
doing it for irresponsible reasons, I can't
Exactly.
support it.
Just because you cannot move your animal doesn't mean you have to cull. That means
Ex-
you stop breeding, cut down your breeding to half, and then be responsible about it.
Yeah, and then we come full circle back to me and Father Blues conversation on the last podcast. People won't do that though because it's money. You know what I mean? It's a
Yeah.
possible money loss, and it's a whole thing, man. I'd rather not go down that rabbit hole tonight. If you don't mind, JC, I'd like to switch gears a little bit here and let's
Yeah.
talk about a conversation that's happened on multiple podcasts, and it's really starting to gain traction, right? So people that want to get into the mainland and you don't feel that they're a good fit, but they're obviously a good snake keeper. Or, we just got to the point in mainlands where maybe that just needs to be that animal that is almost unobtainable here in the future. You know what I mean? It's just so
Mhm.
difficult to get your hands on. It's beautiful to look at. We
Right.
let people do what they're doing now. We just kind of start chopping down at the amount of people that are getting into it because it's such a selective market to be a part of the
It
mainland.
is. It is. I would say, like, right now, mainland market probably might be one of the smallest market in the reptile industry. especially with the super dwarfs coming in. Yeah, like you said, like what we all said, like it's not for everybody. It's very for selective few that can handle mainlands. You know,
So, away from super dwarfs, what would you suggest that somebody gets into another species? Because again, this conversation is starting to gain traction. It really makes my heart excited.
right.
Because Chris can vouch for this. I've been pushing for it for a long time to widen your horizons
Hmm.
on working with different species. What's a good secondary animal to the mainland that you could suggest somebody gets into? Like my go-to is the false water cobra. Yeah, it's not a 20-foot fucking snake and it's not going to get 200
Right.
pounds, but pound for pound intelligence, reactions, everything that you get out of a mainland, you're basically going to get out of a false water cobra. They're both extreme intelligent animals. They're
Mhm.
very fun to work with, and your passion, they will both set that fire for you.
Right.
What would you say?
Huh. For me personally, just because I love the like kind of extreme stuff, like people can get into monitors. Like there are some smaller species monitors that you can put in like a good 4x8. You know, you don't need like a full room for a monitor because they are extremely intelligent, man. Like this these lizards are crazy. They're genius. Like they know people, they recognize you. Just like say for example, one of my buyers before, he hates the guy, he whips him, he bites him, but he's like super tame with the wife. That's like how smart they are. So if you're trying to get into a reptile, maybe a monitor would be a good option. Now, if you have the space, like you still have to do all your research and all, you know. But
Yeah, and I mean, some would argue that the monitor is well above the mainland, but I see what you're saying. As far as like if you got one right and stuck at one and work with the smaller species, absolutely, I back that 100%. Much like Father Blue's doing with the blue trees.
yeah, blue trees are exactly. That's a perfect example. You don't have like a massive. You don't have like a bodega for a enclosure. Blue trees are nice. What you can put in a 4x8 or
Yeah,
6x8. That's
yeah,
perfect, right? And
yeah.
then
That's
you can
exactly what
go
Father Blue's rocking. Six by
right.
eights, right? Yeah, six
Yeah.
by
Yeah,
eights.
hmm
that's what it sounds like. Yeah, he built
Yeah.
them all himself. Kind of like, are you building yours for your?
For my dragon, the one
Okay,
that's a 8x16.
damn.
Yeah,
So you're making a big one.
yeah, that thing is massive. Like
So it's gonna
I
be a
got my
walk-in
little car.
enclosure, or
Say what?
it's gonna be a walk-in enclosure. That's
Yeah,
what
it's
you're
gonna
trying
be a
to do.
walk-in enclosure. I was thinking of just putting like a plexi as a window and then just find a door in marketplace because it's not those sliding doors for like those window doors.
Yeah.
Bro, those are like a grand, 2 grand each.
Oh
Those are not
damn.
cheap, like so I would, as long as I can see it inside, big enough window for me to see it inside, make it still look nice, and then of course the space, big enough space for the dragons to like roam around.
Oh,
Bro,
yeah, man.
I'm
If
like,
you're gonna do it the right way, right?
Exactly.
So how many dragons do you have? Do you have just the one?
No, I have two right now. I
You
have a
have two?
pair.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Are they what? How big are they now? Are they growing out or are
So
they full size?
yeah, the male, I'd say a solid 7 foot.
7 foot. Damn, that's a
Bro, he's
big
massive.
ass dragon,
Like
man.
I was like, that's
he's
huge.
massive. He's
It's a whole nother person.
say what?
I said, that's a whole nother person.
Exactly. I think he's a good like 50 pounds, man. 50, 70, maybe like that.
Damn,
And I
that's a
don't even
big ass reptile.
only feed him once a week, bro. Like just enough. Sometimes I do twice a week if like my feeding was not enough. Like I can tell. Because if you over like they will eat every day if you want to. Then you're gonna end up having an obese dragon and it's just gonna die, you know?
Yeah, that's yeah.
I didn't know that.
Obese animals, man. That's another topic that we could
That's
talk about.
definitely a-
Shout out to Prehistoric's death.
Bro, tell me. Just to get those views, huh?
Oh man,
So I take it you don't like prehistoric death either?
hmm That's also one of the reasons why people are not wanting mainland, because not all mainlands get those sizes. Unless you really push it, then those are not like mainland size, bro. Those are super XLs because
you over fucking feeds them.
yeah, because it looks kind of cool on video, but what it's doing, it's hurting the community.
Okay.
It is.
It is hurting the community, like
Good
really
to know
bad.
that.
Like
Yeah.
at first when I started Retix here in the US, it's like I see him, oh, this is cool, and then once I got in digging into it, it's like, bro, this thing is wrong, man. It's it's just hurting. It's hurting everybody, not just mainlands, even super dwarfs, because people don't know about super dwarfs. Like if you're some random guy, once you see a retake, oh, that's gonna be a monster. You know.
Exactly. He's leaving that negative impression on brand new keepers, man.
Mhm.
And it's funny because on Saturday I was over at a buddy's house and we were watching the UFC fights,
hmm
and he had his wife's friend over and the family, and of course, the typical fucking introduction for me is Levi's the snake guy, and the daughter wants to get into the snakes, right?
Right.
And I had brought up that I own a mainland, and Jay's Prehistoric Death got brought up. And I said that, and they looked appalled. Like, what do you mean by prehistoric death? And I was like, oh, my bad. It's just habit. That's how I know him.
Right.
And here's why. I was like, you guys have this, like, terrified look that I have a mainland. Is that because Jay's Prehistoric is constantly jumping backwards when these giant snakes are jumping at him? They're like, yeah, how can you deal with that? I was like, mine's a sweetheart. You can walk into her enclosure, pet her, feed her, not have to worry about a damn thing. And that's how mainlands truly are. When you work with your animal and you know your animal and you love your animal, they're not aggressive. And I was like,
Right.
I am so sorry that he's bestowed this image upon you, but this is how it really is. That's all sensational bullshit. But
Right.
the proof is in the pudding. That's the view that people get on these animals. They're going to be
That's what
giant,
people
scary
want to
fucking
see.
monsters.
hmm
So it's not only that, people don't understand that it's a defense mechanism. They don't got arms to be like, hey, back up.
Right.
You know?
Like, not just the size, bro. Like, speaking of which, because we're on this already, how about those pulling eggs?
Oh, yeah. When
I
he's,
saw that code.
Bro,
yeah,
my
when he's
my
fucking
first
sitting there
time
making
breeding, my first time having my getting my first clutch of retics, 2 3 in the morning, I was calling my boys because I have no idea, bro. Like if my snake is gonna kill me, because that's what I saw,
Yeah.
you know. But when I pulled it, it's super easy. They never do that unless you provoke it. Just like maybe other animals. Once you provoke
Exactly.
something, then but that's what you get. Like he does that for the views, because you know, for normal people, oh, this is so cool and shit like that. But come on.
Well, some people think it's cool, and it's like, you know, it's almost like he's trying to channel a name that I'm not even going to associate to him.
Mhm.
And that's not how it is. You know what I mean? That person that was back in the 90s and 2000s, may he rest in peace and bless his soul, did it the right way. You know, he was dealing with wild animals. Jay's Prehistoric Death is doing this with captive bred animals on captive bred eggs, and there is a provocation there. And that fucking shatters my heart, JC, to hear that you were one of the victims of that shit, that thought when you bred your retic, this was going to happen, and this is what you're up against. Because had that door not been opened by that asshole, and it was opened by anybody, Aubrey Pruitt, D&T Retics, Wildfire Retics, fucking Shane Costello, any of the fucking OG fucking new or great retic keepers, they would tell you it's not like that. It's not even close. You will probably never have to experience that when you do it this way, when you do it the correct way, and you're not provoking mom and you're not coming off as a threat. Could you imagine being in that situation? A bunch of camera crews fucking getting poking and prodded by a hook. You're on top of your eggs. I'd be pissed off too, man.
Yeah, anybody will, you know. But they do it in purpose because they get millions of views for that shit, just for that reason. But at the end of the day, because their market for their views are the general public, not the industry.
Yeah, and that's the worst part about it though. Like that's the part that gets me the most fired up
Mhm.
is that it is for the general public though.
Then we
Because
get the
that's
bad rep.
exactly because me, you, Chris, DNT, MJ, all of us that are working with these animals, and this is every reptile in general, because once somebody has that negative impression or we're a bunch of fucking psychopaths working with these scary animals, that's it. It's a wrap. Like you got to change their view on the reality of the situation. And sometimes there is no going back. Like they saw that, they're scared, and now we're tarnishing our image. This is why people don't want to talk to us, don't want to learn about the reptiles, and you're trying to teach them the right way, and there's just no going back. Or
Because
you scare somebody into their first time breeding.
the
Or
first
people are, I've heard people have sold their retics after watching those videos because they had bought them, they wanted to do the project, they had everything right, and they ended up selling the animal because they were scared they were going to get messed up. Is it can it happen? Yes. Will it happen? Probably not, because once you learn the right way.
Exactly.
There are so many good breeders out there, so many phenomenal retic keepers, man.
That's also exactly why every time I get eggs, I always do a video. Maybe I don't talk, but I always like, if you see some of my egg pulling videos, bro, I just do a little tap, grab the snake, nothing. So people will like, you can like legit see people commenting. They're like, oh, why did you pull that so easy? It's like, because what they like, the reason why they say that, why did you get those the snake so easily, is because they saw Jay's videos that it's hard to get eggs from retics. And these are the general public. It's not just like the reptile people, but my friends from, let's say, Facebook, that doesn't really get into like snakes, but they saw videos from him that when it comes to retics, they will kill you. They will try to kill you if you touch their eggs. But that's what I'm trying to do, like show people at least like they're not that bad, you know?
Yeah. And that's exactly what we have to do, man. And it sucks that the person with the biggest platform is doing the latter.
That's
like, it's heartbreaking, man.
That's the worst part. And then now with that video, I mean that TV series that he's trying to do, it might get worse, huh?
I was actually gonna ask you about that. I was like, have you ever seen one of the shows on TV?
Nope. Not gonna watch it.
Yeah, me either. Don't worry, bro.
Not a chance yet.
I've actually heard people say that it's completely different, but still, I don't agree how he brought these retics up.
I'm not even sure if I'm ever gonna like consider gonna watch it. You know, it just.
I'm not giving him that fucking tap or the click or whatever the fuck TV qualifies for it, man. Like I see his videos on fucking Instagram or Facebook, and I scroll right past it. I don't even give him. I try to get it before it counts as a view.
Right.
Like it deserves none of it. Like I can't stand. I can't stand it. What pisses me off the most is because he has such a giant algorithm. He hits everybody's fucking algorithm that's in reptiles.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's man.
You're stuck.
Before I start going off on Jay, man, I could sit here and do a whole entire fucking. I could do a week's worth of podcasts on how much I hate that fucking guy. Damn it! There it is, Chris. God damn it.
I was just actually gonna go into, since I was gonna change the topic because get away from Jay Pierce. I was just gonna ask him, like, have you got any negative feedback about your enclosures? Like, anybody telling you stuff, you know?
So far, no, not really. I mean, there will always be somebody, but I got like my adults on the 8x3s. That's pretty much almost like community standards. But what everybody is trying to do right now is we're always trying to go on bigger enclosures. But right now, that's as big as you can get on like decent, not like super cramped and all that, you know. But always there's like, you can never avoid those things, man. Like especially when it comes to retics, like there will always be somebody who's gonna say something. Even if you put in like a 10-foot enclosure, man, they're still gonna you know.
Yeah, somebody's always gonna have something to say, man. That's
Like
like
you do
that's
a
a fucking
you do a 10x2. Let's say you do a 10x4x2. Oh, why is it not 10x4x4? You know.
All right, man. So speaking of that, real quick,
Hmm.
again, shout out to Shane Costello and MJ for bringing the subject up on the Trap Talk podcast. I'm telling you, I almost fucking started doing cartwheels. I was so excited to hear Shane talk on this. Getting retics off the ground is one of the biggest things that I push for.
Right.
They are semi-arboreal. Some will argue that they're arboreal animals. They are found in trees and caves and up on high ledges in the wild. Do you agree that we need to start giving them climbing options? I'm not saying like you have to have some elaborate setup inside of the enclosure, but offer them a ladder to climb on, a playground, give them the option to get up off the ground on a semi or fully regular basis. I'm going the full out. Anything I do, like I'm going to build my mainland as she gets bigger. I'm going to use the PVC pipes, much like Eric Lee did for his super dwarfs. I'm going to do a big scale inside of her walk-in enclosure,
Right.
and give her an option to constantly be off the ground. Because again, in the wild, they're off the ground. They're in trees. They're on ledges and caves. Like the proof is in the pudding. You know what I mean? Look at Dave Coppin's video where the retics are eating in the cave.
Right.
They're up
right.
on fucking ledges
Catching
that they
bats.
had to climb up.
Yeah. That's true. Like at one point, like you can see right now, everybody's moving towards that direction. Like it's not gonna happen overnight because you're so stuck on like at this moment, but people are already, especially like the biggest thing that's really gonna get people into doing that are the super dwarf people, because what we know about mainlands or retics in general on how to keep them is basically put in on a terrestrial, like a flat cage, right? But what super dwarfs people are doing now is that they're trying to put in PVC pipes, like something to climb on. Bro, I'm from the Philippines. We do see this stuff on trees, but I had no idea before. So now that the super dwarf people are doing this stuff, then even mainland people will start to incorporate those stuff, you know. But it's not. I'll be honest, it's not gonna happen to me right now, but we're moving towards that direction.
Yeah, exactly. And again, just like me and Father Blue discussed about bigger enclosures, better husbandry, you know, just working to better ourselves. It's
Right.
not, you're right. It's not the snap of a fingers. It's not an overnight thing. And that's really, you're right. That is the message that needs to be relayed, is that nobody's demanding anything. Like you don't
Right.
have to do any of this. It's more of like, we're issuing the challenge. Like challenge yourself to
Right.
do and be better than you were yesterday. And as we evolve as an industry, that's going to happen. And getting retics out the ground, using bigger enclosures, reducing the amount of breedings, reducing the amount of animals that we own. You know, just all of this. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's steps that we could start working towards
Definitely.
overall as an industry, and then looking ourselves in the mirror every night and going, okay, am I doing right by these animals? Am
Right.
I challenging myself to be better than I was yesterday? And being better than I was yesterday is maybe taking a snake from a 4x2x2 to a 4x6x6, or a 6x2x2, or a 6x4x4, and just slowly working your way up. And again, if you have a lot of animals, it's not going to happen overnight. You can start going one by one by one, and you know, okay, maybe this season I don't breed as many, or maybe this season I take half of the funds from breeding and I dump it into enclosures. I get the better racks. I get the bigger spacious setups for a majority of my animals, if not all of them, or some of them, or whatever that means is at that time. And then just continue to build upon this foundation that you're building. And eventually you're going to turn back and be like, damn, I used to use that stuff. I used to be a part of the past, and now I'm not.
Right. That also still ends up to control breeding, because if you control your breeding, now you have more space to cater that much enclosure. You know, because those people that's putting in like 10 clutches a year, that means where are they gonna put in like 4 foot high enclosures? You know.
Exactly.
I think it always still comes down to, first off, is responsible breeding. Because if you're responsible in your breeding, there's not that much. I mean, there will always be in the market, but it's not mass produced, that you will have the opportunity to make the right enclosures for what you have in stock, and then you will have better buyers at one point. I mean, in a way that you can teach them properly. And then I think it's also about promoting, like say Eric Lee, he does a lot of stuff with those PVC, and people are following, man. Like it's really something that's like I said, people are going towards that direction.
Hmm.
You know, I'm gonna be there, but I'm gonna be honest, it's not happening now, because what I have is what I have right now. But once I'm gonna start getting more funds, because PVC is not, it ain't cheap, bro. you know,
Definitely
No,
not.
no, it's not. And
and I have
that's
the jungles. They're like, the jungle cages is what I have, and it's definitely not cheap. So like, once, it's also about funding. Like, there's so many factors to like go towards, be at that point, really. But as long as you're trying to, then trying to move, like you said, like try to improve, then yeah,
exactly. And it's I mentioned it with Father Blue, man. Like some of the the racks. MJ just had what's his name on that was big on the ball python studies and breeding racks, and I like the way that David challenged him too. Was like, why ball pythons? But even with the ball python community, right? Well, they do great in these racks. You're right, they do, but they also move around too. Like I
Right.
definitely see where the guy's going with this. Like challenge your animal, like we challenge our dogs, taking on walks, and
hmm
the whole spiel was great interview, very enlightening, very eye opening. The one thing that wasn't discussed though was a happy median. You know what I mean? Like, all right, so I want to keep using racks, they work, but I agree with you, bigger enclosures are better. So how do you do that? Again, shout out to Show Me Kitties, that badass rack system that she has. They're bigger tubs with climbing options and different burrowing options, and there's always a happy median somewhere, right? Like you don't need to go all PVC enclosures, and you don't need to go dark, desolate fucking racks either. There's options in the middle, right? Like maybe
Right.
you step it up, maybe you add climbing spaces inside of the tubs. You widen the tubs, get a little bit deeper, start stepping up a little bit, and you put climbing options in there, different heights and different temperature gradients. And there's always a way to meet in the middle, right? Like it's not
Right.
about doing the biggest and baddest and best every single time. It's about like, okay, well, where can I make improvements? Where
Right.
where can I make those slight adjustments? Like I was using breeding racks too. I still have one. I'm working to get rid of it. But for the animals that would fit in the Costco tubs, like I use those now because those are easy. They're big for the size of the animal that goes into it, and I can drill holes in the side and give them climbing options.
Right. Right.
Right, so I'm giving them a bigger space and more options inside of there while I'm slowly working at building all enclosures. Like there's always going to be a happy medium. Then there's a fuck ton of colubrids that fit in those motherfuckers too. Instead of using a breeding rack, I'll just use all Costco tubs. They live a
Mhm.
life happy. Got plenty of fucking space, your climbing options, water selections, all of it. Like it's just about being creative, and that's
Right.
something else too, right? That this industry is so far away from. Like, be creative. Think outside the box. Like, I got shit on, bro. I got shit on when I said I was putting my mainland in a grow tent. Here I am, almost
You
a
know
year
what?
later. Shit's
In a
fucking
grow
perfect,
tent.
bro.
Oh,
In a fucking grow tent.
Dude, and that tent is fire. He has like substrate in there for the bottom. That shit, it came out clean.
like I said,
Came
bro.
out
Like
clean.
anything you do, people will always have something to say. You know,
Always, 100%, bro.
like even
100%.
like even if you have a walk-in enclosure, there's, oh, why is there not a 300-gallon tub in there?
But they're only saying that because they didn't make it.
Exactly. And the worst part is those people that are saying those things can't even like properly care for a snake. You know?
More
You're
often than
right.
not, that is the case,
Mhm.
man. Like, I see the comments on Barchek's videos all the time. Oh, what about this and that? Like his anaconda enclosures. People are constantly criticizing him. It's like, dude, let me see you do better.
Right.
I'll tell you what, once you can prove in pictures that you did something bigger, better, and badass,
Mm-hmm.
all right, fine. Challenge me. Let's go.
Right.
I'll see you. I'll meet you there. I'll be there one day. And again, it's not going to happen overnight, But I see you. If it's bigger, it's better, it's badass, and it's great for the animal, I do want to reach that. I do want to be there. I don't want to continue to sit in one little fucking circle and keep chasing my own tail.
Right.
That's just not how we do. That's not how I do things.
Mm-hmm.
I never have in my life, and I never will. I constantly grow, and that's what I'm after. And I challenge everybody that keeps animals and all animals, right? Like we can do better by our dogs. We can do better by our horses or cows. We can constantly do better in everything that we do, and like the reptile industry can reflect that. And fuck the haters, man. Fuck
but
them
also
all.
now they're also doing bioactive too with retakes and stuff like that.
Like my boy's caught his. I think he might be the only guy that's like, all he does is, I think he only have one super dwarf, but all his mainlands are in bioactive. Like he got like, I think 10x4x4 enclosures for his mainlands, but fully bioactive and all that. And then like, bro, it's impressive, you know.
Yeah, for sure. That's tough.
That's also another thing that people can start doing, you know, because somebody's doing it already
Mm-hmm.
in a bigger scale. You're not talking about dark frag bioactive. You're talking about a retic bioactive.
Yeah, that's a big ass enclosure, man. That's a big space to manage bioactive. But that's
like his enclosures are really cool, like fully bioactive. Even his monitor enclosures, they're all fully bioactive. He was able to like, he got the spot on how to like get it going, you know.
yeah. I like that, Stan. If you don't have haters, you're not doing something right. Exactly. No, that's badass. Shout out to your homie, man. That's cool. You know, I can't remember who I was talking to, and I know there's been conversations about it where naysayers were saying that you couldn't do it because it was too big.
Right.
That you never get a mainland inside of a bioactive enclosure. And Scott's doing it, man. Shout out to him. Fuck yeah, break that barrier.
Yeah.
Because the same thing, man. People told me my grow tent wasn't going to work. I was an idiot and stupid, and my mainland was going to destroy it and try to get out. She hasn't gotten out of that once. And I mean, I know they have the capability to do it, but what my argument is, my mainland's taken care of.
Right.
My mainland doesn't get bored. I give her climbing options. She's got the shelf. I'm constantly pulling her out and wearing her down, wearing her out. She's running around the house like she is a fucking dog, climbing on shit all over the place. I'm chasing her half the time, trying to get her off of some fucking window seal she got up on top of.
Yeah, that's the worst.
You know, living her best life. And I strongly attribute that to that. Yeah, if you're gonna shove a retic in a grow tent, leave it alone and act like it doesn't exist and barely feed it and let it get stressed out. Yeah, it's gonna find a way out of the cage because it's bored. It's not gonna have anything to do. But it's also going to do that in a 6x2x2. It's going to do that in an 8x2x2. It's going to do that in a 10x4x4. It's going to find a way out of that enclosure, not if, when. If it's bored and not taken care of. But if you're meeting the animal's husbandry, if you're meeting its needs to not be bored, you'd be all right. You'd be straight.
Right.
I was also going to add to that too, because I remember I was there when they started saying that he wasn't going to pull that grow tent thing off. Man, they kept knocking him, and now look. That shit like popped off.
I tell you, those people that like talking shit are like, they have newspaper fucking all filthy and shit. Like they all just want to talk shit, bro. Like always.
Yeah, and that's a lot of the internet, you know, like that's a big downfall.
You know.
But I don't know, man. Like they say, everybody's always gonna hate about something. It's always gonna be something, nothing, and that's what we were talking about last night too on the podcast last night. Like, why can't we just step forward and keep going positive? Why can't we be positive? Why can't we, spread something? Because when something happens, we all come together and we're just positive.
I mean, we try, but there's always that somebody.
Yeah, it's never gonna go away. It's just we just it just comes back to like what you can control. You can control you and your direct environment, and that's it. You can't control other people, can't control other keepers, can't control the industry, can't control sales, can't control responsibility, but you can set the example and lead the way. And if people are going to follow the proper example, they're going to follow. If they're not, well, that's their own fucking problem. Don't bug me with it.
So JC, is there a reason why you went to retics? Is there like a backstory on that, or
So so yeah, basically, um, my first retic, I was 12 years old. It was
okay?
like a wild caught 14-foot retic in the Philippines, and then like, and then I just fell in love with it. So it was my brother who gifted me that retic. It was wild claw. It was wild claw as a baby. So when I got it, it was like super tamed already and all that. And then I got here in the U.S. So basically, I got into retic and berm when I was still in the Philippines. And then when I got here in the U.S., I didn't know anything about retic. And then I got into ball pythons. And then when I searched about retic, oh, this thing exists. So I sold all my ball pythons, got a couple of retics, and then that's it. But my retic in the Philippines was completely a pet, bro. Like we, I was 12 years old. We have we barely see those YouTube thing. It was not a thing before. There's no such thing as hooks. We just pull out retics. It was like, and then now keeping retics, I just realized how dangerous it was on what I was doing before. You know. But yeah, that's what basically my love for retics was when I was still 12. Bro. Like it's just different for them. And
Well,
I
you were in their homeland too, man. Like
yeah,
that. What a fucking incredible
we
experience to
can
be able to interact with them.
if you hear somebody screaming in your neighborhood, you already know it's a ritic. Like
Damn.
get in your home, bro. Like they
See, that's a
wouldn't
cool
just get in
story,
your
man.
homes. You can see like 12, 13 foot get in the ceiling, so they have to rip off the whole ceiling just to get that snake.
So
Yeah, I
those
saw a
videos are
video on
factual,
that.
bro. Like that actually happens out there.
It does happen, man. Like
Hmm.
if
And
there's
y'all
like,
just like rip the ceiling out like
oh
nothing.
yeah,
Did y'all fix that later, or
no, they don't fix ceilings.
I was like, they just do it like that?
Yeah, just leave it like that. Well, yeah, you can find retics everywhere there. Like if you buy a retic, you can get it for like a buck or two
No
for wild
shit.
ones. Yeah,
Huh. That's
like
pretty cool.
people
So
give
they're
those
like,
away.
it's like the garter snake for America. Then, like,
Yeah,
you
something like that.
throw a rock and hit a garter snake in the United States. You know what I mean? Like they're
Mhm.
all in every state. That's pretty cool, man. That's fucking badass. What an honorary like part of history, I guess, to have. Like, I would love to go out and interact with wild mainlands, be able to see what they're like out there in their homelands.
Honestly, I've never seen a very massive mainland in my island. Like maybe the biggest one I've seen wild, I'd say a solid 13 or 14.
Hmm,
Like I've
Really?
never
that's still
seen
pretty big.
like
Um,
maybe because of where I live, because I live in Cebu, which is like a very small island in the Philippines. So maybe that also like the super dwarf, whatever, because nobody is really working into retics in the Philippines, so nobody like focuses on those localities. Shit. So, but they're all small. They're big for us because people there are not really educated when it comes because maybe because of Christianity. Every time they see snakes, it's always evil and all that. So, like, you know,
No, you're good, man. I say that
yeah,
all the time, bro. Like my buddy Chris, we were over at his house last night, man. And he's super religious, but he even backs me on that, bro, because I was like, Chris, like, no offense, but it's like it's the Bible that
mhm,
gives people this negative image of the snake because people
hmm
misinterpret what the Bible
right,
said. And
right,
Chris actually does a well job of explaining that the snake is not evil.
hmm,
It's not conniving, it's not cunning. It was just a representation of what they were trying to say,
right, exactly.
and it was great. I love the fact that Chris is helping me push that
Hmm.
more, and I'm glad that you brought that up because the Bible really does. People take it in a negative light, and it's not about that. God, and
Exactly.
nowhere in the Bible does God ever really depict an animal as evil. Animals were never meant to be evil.
Right.
Hold on, bro.
I had a comment go viral almost, right? I got like almost 100 likes on Facebook on one of the snake pages that I'm on because I was preaching against killing animals. Like, whether you think an animal's scary or not does not give you the right to kill it.
100%.
Right? Do you work with venomous out in the wild? Do you work with venomous in your collection? Have you ever in your previous life?
Here, no, because I want to, but I cannot because of the laws. And then two is that my girl is no on snakes in general, but she compromised. She's like, okay, you can have this retake and all that, but as long as you don't get into venomous, because like that's for me as like she respected me on this because before we met, I already had this, so she can't really like it's just a matter of me respecting her as well. On like it's like a give and take. As much as I want to get into venomous, it's just respect for her that okay, you allowed me to have all these massive snakes. I'm not gonna push my limit and then be disrespectful on get into venomous, bro. We can get wild caught vipers, king cobras, summer cobras in the Philippines anytime. I've had when I was in the Philippines, I've had a couple of vipers and a cobra. I don't even know what kind of species was those. Like you can just get it there, But like I said, like I want to get into venomous, but I just respect my girl on setting that limit. That yes, I can have my retics. I'm not gonna push it to getting into venomous.
No, respect, bro. My wife is very similar. She doesn't want me keeping venomous animals in the house. Again, I got the mainland, I've got the super dwarves, I've got the boas. Anything non-venomous is more than welcome in the house, all the way up to monitors. So I completely feel where you're coming from. She allows me to interact with them in the wild, right? Like while I'm herping, she doesn't have an issue with that. Where the hell was I going with that? Oh yeah, that's where my passion for like not killing animals comes from, though. It's like I interact with these dangerous animals, right? Like, yeah, there is a danger to them, but if you leave them the fuck alone, they're not going to bug you. Like, I have to go find these things.
Right.
And it's like, when I find them, some of them are very, very desolate, isolated areas. So obviously when they see a human, they're set off, and people don't understand that stuff, man. It just, they don't, again, because of that depiction that they got from whatever it be a negative image, Jay's prehistoric death shithole videos, or the Bible, they got this negative connotation and they think it gives them a right to kill an animal in the wild, or, like FWC and what they did in the massacre. Shout out to FWC. Fuck you guys.
Fucking retarded. Fucking retarded. I just can't, like, when I saw that, like, bro, I can't.
Yeah, that killed you, right? Yeah.
I seen that. It came back up in my algorithm. Boza's on TikTok. One of his videos showed up again. Just got me fired up yesterday. I'm also fucking mad watching that shit again.
I don't know. I can't watch it, bro.
It's that kind of bullshit, bro. That's how that happens. You know what I mean? Like people think it's okay to kill these animals, and it's not. They're not scary. They're really not. Get to know them, educate yourself.
So they told me I should post my snakes, video of my snakes more. Like I should post them more often. So I post them on TikTok. Then somebody put snakes should be killed or something like that.
I responded to that. I responded to him.
That's like. The thing is that speaking of those kind of stuff is that because, like I said again, I'm from the Philippines. Christianity is a very big part on like our culture, right? So, but for me, it's because of those religion that makes you very judgmental to people. That because what you think is right and what you think is wrong should like everybody have to follow you in a way. Like what's right for me is wrong for you, or what's wrong for me, or you know what I mean? Like what you're doing is not right, but basically they just all they want to do is judge people. Like they pray a lot, but once they're out the fucking church. All they talk is fucking backbite everybody.
Yeah, but from
everybody and shit because
I'm like for me though too, it's not just like the religious thing. They don't even know the animal first of all.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
why don't
that
you
one.
go and handle the animal, get used to the animal, and see it's not what you think it is. You know what I
Because
mean?
they view our animals as monsters. They always view that, like, you know, because it's exotic, or it's not the cat, your typical cat and dog, you know.
Oh, bro, don't even get me started on fucking cats, bro. Because that, man, people that own cats that want to judge my animals, bro. Like, come on, let's go. Let's put on
Bro,
gloves
we
because
be playing Fortnite.
we
We
go
get everybody
around,
be
bro.
like, he's
But
like, "What's up with your cat?"
yeah, first and foremost, fuck Chris's cat. That thing's a fucking spawn of Satan. But screw cats in general, man. Like, if you own a cat and you want to talk to me about reptiles and invasive animals and dangerous animals and all this other nonsense, you best pick up a book, homie. Like,
Bro,
don't you,
cats are
Karen with the
crazy.
17 cats, don't you dare
Like
even
those.
think about talking to me until you know more about cats.
Mhm.
Once you educate yourself and the animal that you keep, then we can have an educated conversation about both of our animals.
Mhm.
Because
Those.
cats are the number one invasive animal on the fucking planet. Not the country, not a state, not a
Nope.
city, not a locality, not an island, not a fucking canal, not an isolated area. The motherfucking world, bro. They're an issue in Australia. They're an issue in China. They're an issue in Japan. They're an issue in the United States, in the UK, Europe. Every fucking country has a problem with house cats. But Karen thinks it's okay to judge my animals? Ah, hell no.
Mhm.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Yeah, those
Bro,
cat ladies are. Oh my god, those are crazy, bro. I mean, we have a cat, but he's like chill. He's not your normal cat. I got the Bengal one.
oh okay. I got a blue Russian, doesn't stop talking, so he just talks off. When I'm sleeping, I'm like, God, you shut up. And then he'll look like jump on something and look at you and knock shit off. And just I'd be like, stop, stop, and then he'd be like, "Pah."
This-
I'm like,
My
you
cat is
mother.
annoying because once he knows you're like, he knows what time we wake up. But if we go past that time that we wake up, bro, he doesn't stop crying. He wakes us up, like, you know. He got his own like buddy club.
What's up, Leah?
Nah, for real though. But I don't have an issue with cats. Like, people have an issue with snakes, but it does piss me off when somebody with cats comes at me about my animals being dangerous, my retic's gonna eat me, and blah 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 blah. Like, I give it to people. The one similarity between cats and snakes is if we die in our home, they're probably gonna eat us out of survival because we can't feed them. But outside of that, there are no similarities. Like, yeah, some are invasive, but they're, at least with my mainland, I know when she's gonna bite. I know when she's gonna strike at me. Cats, I've like given cats love and they still maul me.
Right.
You can't fucking tell. They're unpredictable animals.
Oh yeah, 100%. You can't ask them to sit.
Hey, I'm an unpredictable animal, Levi.
You're an unpredictable dipshit. One of the same animal. Don't
Hey,
insult animals.
so where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? Like, do you see yourself owning a store, opening a
We bringing that
facility?
question back? Let's go.
Yeah, why not? I want to know what he's gonna be doing in the next 5 years.
Well, me,
Yeah.
um, I'm definitely going towards the super dwarf stuff, but I'm still gonna stay on the 2-3 clutch mark. I'm not gonna try to be that super big breeder and all that. I will have a collection, but I still I still don't see myself doing 5 clutches a year. I can't. It's too much
Respect.
work. It's too much work. It's just, you know,
The babies, yeah. I was gonna say.
and like like I said, it becomes a chore that it you you don't enjoy it anymore if you have too many. Unless you have a lot of time, then sure. But we have a day job. I can't only do like, I will still maintain my limits, but I'm still trying to like definitely we're gonna go towards that direction, the super dwarf direction. We're gonna go towards like better enclosure directions and all that stuff. But it's gonna be a process, to be honest. You know.
No, for sure, man. And somebody that's in the process, you know what I mean? Like I'm speaking from like a fresh experience, like as I'm slowly like stepping up and working things to
Mhm.
get the bigger enclosures and the bigger setups and everything, man. It's
Right.
fun, dude. It's addicting. Like once you get like you're constantly thinking, like if you get this mental, man, it's almost like a drug. It's almost like getting new snakes. Like what
Right.
can I do today? What can I do tomorrow? What you know, and then you be fucking laying down in bed about to go to fucking sleep, and all of a sudden an idea hits you, bro. You're like, oh shit, I can put this here and do this and make this climbing branch connect to this climbing branch. And it's addicting, bro. It's so fucking addicting. Like I'm constantly I'll get up off the couch like watching a show or something with my wife, and I'll go fucking dick around with the snakes. I'm like, you know what? Let me go put this here and put this here and move this around real quick and see how well it works. And
Mhm.
it's a blast, man. It's just as addicting as buying new animals.
Like those are things that like it's like kind of meditating, you know. Like me cleaning my snakes, bro. It just
Zen.
makes me disappear from the world, just focus, enjoy my snakes, cleaning them, and then from like, because I work in the kitchen, it's like super super stressful industry. So when I get home, once I clean my babies, once I clean my snakes, like I'm in a zone that's like I feel like I'm meditating in a way that everything is blocked off, and then you're just pretty much enjoying your stuff.
I get
Exactly,
that.
bro.
It's like building those, like you said, when you're building those enclosure, making those branches, like your focus is that thing. You don't give a fuck on what's going on outside. You're focused on that thing, and then you're enjoying it. It's not stressful. So that's why I try to limit myself on the numbers of animals I have, because if I go beyond that, then it's gonna be stress now.
Exactly, man. And that's shout out to you because that's exactly where I'm at, man. Like I don't want to do this full time. I don't want to do this for a
No.
job. I mean, ultimately, like it's one of the things that
It would be nice.
it would be, but at the same time, man,
Your
like
love will
once
be gone because you're now after for the money. Like money,
Exactly.
like I said, like all right. Another sensitive topic about money. People will always say, "Oh, I'm not doing this for the money." Bro, stop lying. Why are you breeding? Right? In
You're
a
right.
way, you're going for the money, but at the same time, that's why for me, if I limit myself, I'm going for the money to sustain my hobby, to buy what I want, but at the same time, I'm not gonna overbreed myself to like make so much money, then my love for what I'm doing is gone. I still want to make the money because it's not cheap to have them. And at least you have an incentive to like keep going, and then in a way. So people that say, "Oh, I'm not doing this for money," bro, don't breed them. You know,
Exactly. Real quick, Leah, are you looking for a locality mainland or a locality super dwarf? And I could be able to point you in the right direction. Understand that if you're after a locality mainland, they're going to be big.
Hey, do you have that orange retic, John?
yeah,
Yeah,
Ooh,
can we
bust that
see
one,
that?
bro.
I was like, can we see that?
yeah. This one's
I want to see that. I've been wanting to see that since. Whew,
this one's. There you go.
other way,
Where's my fucking camera, bro?
right there. There you go.
There you go. You're good, bro. Damn, that thing's
Like
pretty.
its head is going yellow now.
Oh my god, bro.
Yeah, this one's like orange, legit orange. Like these are stuff that I just like want to make. Couple breeding projects and that's it. Like the yellow, you see the yellow on that head, bro? It's super yellow on fucking person, bro.
Oh my god, dude. Is that they're asking if it's male or female?
This one's a male.
Ooh, you hit the jackpot on that then.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I got the
yes, you
perfect
did.
male for him.
That's your holdback, huh?
Yep, you already know it. This guy's not going anywhere.
Everybody's like, ooh, yeah, I know. I had to get him to bust that out because,
Yeah, that's an attention grabber for sure.
Yeah, it's like tangerine color. It's just insane color, bro.
and to produce something like that for me, that I would just die, bro. I die happy. Be like, yeah, I did it finally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that'd be like a once in a lifetime for me, honestly.
Yeah, this like you said, like focus on what you want because I'm sure people like if you want that thing, I'm sure when people see your um once people start seeing the projects come out, oh, this is your goal. Oh, let me get into that. Like
See, had I knew this back then when I first started into balls, I wouldn't have gotten so many balls. But
right.
but I was trying to catch up to everybody, which
Hmm.
was the mistake, number one mistake. Stop trying to catch up to everybody. Just do what
Yeah.
you love, do what you work on.
Hmm. That's
And
the
I
worst. I did
I
that too.
and I end up losing, the passion for the balls. Like I still
Mhm.
love my balls, but now my go-to snake, Levi can tell you now, he knows what it is. Like I love
Right.
that thing to death. Well, I got two now, so I love them both to death. And then it's my rainbow boa.
Oh yeah, I got a couple of rainbow boas, so I'm breeding them too, just like on the side.
I
Good
need a
shit, bro.
vinyl one.
Bows are life.
Boas are cool. Like they're
Fucking love
super.
my bows.
Oh my god.
Do you gotta send me pictures of your bows? Because I didn't know you had rainbow boas.
Yeah, I got. I think I got 3 right now. Yeah, I'll send you photos.
Yeah, I gotta see these so I can know what the babies are gonna look like.
They're just like my pet. I just got them on freaking reptile shows. Like, oh, those are cool. Those are cool. Let me get a pair. I got them for like, bro. I had them for I think a solid 5 6 years already. I produced 3 times already from them.
Oh damn.
Yeah, just like I don't really like focus on them. I just let them be, and then then if it breeds, it breeds. If it not, then that's fine. They're just pretty much my pet, in a sense.
Hell yeah, that's what's up, bro. Are they Brazilian or Colombian?
Yeah, Brazilian.
Brazilian? Fuck yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I
I
got
have a
Brazilian.
solid pair, and then I held back 2 females, but I don't know if I'm gonna breed them or whatever. It's just there.
Yes, I am with my African house snakes, bro. They're just there. I just enjoy them.
Hmm. Yeah,
I think they're
actually,
fun.
the rainbow boas. Well, when you were saying like what's another snake that maybe for beginners, rainbow boas are really nice. Like you
They're
can put them
pretty.
in a really nice bioactive enclosure with UV lightings and all that. Like they will pop. They can be a centerpiece in your living room too.
Fuck yeah, they can, bro. Man, I'll tell you, one of these days I'll get into them. There's so many
But
other
I don't know.
boas
I'd
I'm
be
not
kind of
gonna.
afraid though, because my kids might throw shit around, break the tank.
Bro, you
Unless
whoop
it's
that
a,
ass.
I
You
know, but
fucking
unless it's a hard plastic plexiglass tank, you know what I mean? Then
no, bro, you
maybe.
whoop that ass. Teach them kids not to fucking throw shit in the living room, bro. What you raising, a fucking zoo
bro,
over there?
bro, fuck no. But I'm just saying, the kids are gonna be kids. Eventually shit's gonna
Kids
happen.
are gonna be kids outside, bro.
Well,
Hey,
at
you
least if
go
they break it,
pick up.
the snake's not gonna bite them.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's true. You ain't got to worry about a Garrett Hartle situation
Right,
where your
right.
retick's breaking out from underneath your bed.
Oh my god.
What the hell that happened? I missed that.
Listen to the podcast he did with MJ, bro. That's like one of the greatest Garrett Hartle stories of all time.
Oh, okay. I gotta go back and listen to that.
He is
I
there.
missed that. All right. So
Hey, real
John,
quick, shout out to Moore Valley though. Shout out to SB Reptiles because that Anna Molly Leopard is fucking sexy. Follow him on Instagram. Go check out his new boa.
I'm also want to shout out Eva because Eva's been here for like I don't know since she started following us over on TikTok. She's here. Appreciate that, Eva.
Hell yeah. Right, bro. You were saying something?
I was gonna say he's gonna hit you up with this wrapped up question. I'm gonna hit up my wrap up question
Sure.
because I know Leo has to take care of something. So
Cool, cool.
Yeah, I
go
gotta
for it,
go
Eva.
get one of my fucking crotch goblins. All right, JC. So you answered the snake question, right?
Mhm.
So if there were no laws, no regulations, period, it was You can snap your fingers and closure, ready to go. You have the animal inside of it. One mammal, one reptile. What is it? But the reptile cannot be a Komodo dragon. We don't do stock answers.
I was about to say that. Reptile.
But
Maybe
everybody always picks the Komodo.
maybe
It's a
my
stock answer, bro. We don't do stocks.
maybe my pinnacle reptile would be, I'd say the Parenti monitor. They're like super,
shit.
bro. I like the nice stuff, but you can't have them.
What was it?
The Parenti monitors. They're from
Parenti
Australia.
monitors.
They have like this crazy markings on the neck. It's like,
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about now.
mm, like you can barely. The only guy that have them here in the U.S., I think it would be only Thai Park.
Yeah, I think Thai
Probably just
Parks
Thai
and
Park. I saw
like-
that in person, bro. It's just like,
Oh, wow.
it's just majestic. That would be my reptile. And then for a mammal, I know you hate cats, but I'd go for a tiger, bro.
see, that's a big cat though.
That's
There's
a
big
different one.
difference.
Yeah, I'm definitely going for a tiger.
Okay, I respect it. I like it. Hell yeah.
Yeah, because if I
Got
don't like
monitored,
anybody, chop them off, feed them to a tiger, and that's it.
Real dragons. The little things that open their little things.
Yeah, those are cool. Those are cool.
They're all right. They're still kind of a little iffy for me because I've seen them. Like, no matter how much you try to tame those things down, they still a little feisty.
They get crazy, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the ones that Brian have, they're pretty cool. They're pretty chill, right? Bartek, like I
They're
think
still a little,
they're-
yeah, they still a little aggressive. They climb out on him, but then they run right back into the enclosure.
Oh, okay.
Only to eat, I think, from what I saw. A white tiger, nah, maybe a Black Panther for me. So before I ask my wrap-up question, do you have any questions for us, JC? You want to ask us anything?
No, not really. But shout out to you guys for doing this. Like, you need to like. Best thing that you guys are doing is that getting the right people into your podcast, educating on how to improve. Like I said, like it's not a snap, but if you find the right people in your podcast on having like those people with better enclosures and stuff like that, on husbandry, controlled breeding, responsible breeding, I think that's definitely something.
Respect.
Appreciate
Thank you,
that,
man. I
bro.
appreciate that.
I'm glad you said yeah too, though. But
This
Even
is your
though-
first podcast too.
even though this is your first podcast, you got many more in the future. Trust me, dude.
I try, bro.
People are gonna see you and they'll be like, asking you, "Hey, can you come on the podcast?" Trust me, it's gonna happen for you, brother. It's gonna
Yeah,
happen for you. So my wrap-up question is: if you could change one thing in the hobby/industry, what would it be and why? Like the negativity, it could be husbandry, it could be anything that you've seen going on in this,
Should be
industry.
Chris not shaving the stupid ass eyebrows anymore.
Probably I think it's about being negative about everything, man. It's not helping. We're already in a very small industry. People outside our industry kind of hate us already, and then we're still fighting each other.
Facts.
You
I
know,
talk about it all the time, man. Can't be fighting in a minority group.
like, I mean, it's not only in our industry. It's everywhere. People
Yeah.
in general, I would say.
Exactly. But it's our job to be better than.
Right. So
I'm not gonna.
like I said, what you guys are doing is if you find the right people into your podcast, people that are listening into your podcast can like improve themselves. Because
Exactly.
there's no point. There's just no point.
Yeah, I'm
we-
learning that the hard way.
Mm-hmm. But it's the real world. We just have to deal with it. But at least we can try.
Respect.
So everybody wants to know where they can get one of your shirts.
Oh, this is one and only. My guy again, Scott, can make them for him. I mean, if they
Well,
want it, just hit me up, and then I can let him make it for you guys, and then you know get it shipped straight to them.
that'd be badass, dude. I'm like super stoked. Like, and now plug yourself and wherever you can find you real quick. Let
All right.
so
So yeah, first of all, thank you guys for bringing me in. I didn't even know what to say, but like when Chris asked me, I was like, bro, I'm nobody here, you know. But yeah, so you can find me Facebook, Instagram, definitely Morph Market. I haven't updated my Morph Market yet, bro. I'm getting this new property moving. It's a nightmare. It's legit a nightmare. So, but yeah, if you're into Ritics or want to get into Ritics, get into touch with me. I'll try to do my best to help people, but I'm not the expert, but I know my ways. Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, Morph Market, JC Reptiles. Hit me up, whatever you're looking. If I don't have it, I know people that like, you know. But my focus are orange gold stripes, definitely orange gold stripes. Um, Pieds. I got a couple pieds this coming season, so those are the two like main stuff that I'm working on.
Fuck yeah, man. That's a hell of a project right there.
hell yeah. I want to. You got anything else to say, Levi, before I go?
No, we're good. We can wrap this one. Thank you again, JC.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate you. What a
Thank you, bro.
conversation tonight, man.
Cool.
Look forward to what you do in the future, man. Hats off.
Thank you, man.
Right,
Another
hats off
amazing
to JC.
relationship.
Appreciate
Thank
you, JC.
Cool.
Thank you for coming on again. Thank you.
Right.
On that note, we're just gonna shout out the sponsors on the way out.
Sure.
And before that, I need you to hit us with a positive message.
Be positive. That's it. Be positive.
That'll work, baby. That'll work.
You can see my logo. It's very simple. I'm a very simple guy. Just be positive.
Hey, that'll work, bro. That's a good one. Be
Yeah.
positive, everybody. Be positive. So shout out to Reptile Crew, C&B Reptiles, which is tattooed it on me. The family, see.
That's pretty cool.
Ship your reptiles. Flexin.
Hell yeah.
Flexin 23. You get 15% off. I mean, $15 off your shipment, not 15% off. KC Reptile is Flexin. You get 50% off. That's for substrate. That's something else. And then we got Blue Tone Republic, the guy responsible for all the logos that we have. Y'all need a logo, hit him up.
Oh, that's right.
He's a tattoo artist, so you don't have that background on right now. And then we got SB Reptiles, Josh, the homeboy, still waiting on my hat. I think it got lost, but we'll see what happens.
I'll get a shirt. Oh yeah, we didn't post on Instagram. Never mind. Catch us on Instagram Live every other Tuesday. Hopefully Josh will jump in again. Y'all can catch a redo.
Oh, that live got bad quick.
If you know, you know. If you don't, well, sorry.
And then this Tuesday we'll be live on Ken's channel on his podcast. This Tuesday at the Let Me Know show with Ken. Me and Levi are going to be there together. I know he sent you over the stuff, right?
No.
I'll send it to you right now, then.
Slackers.
What's up, Inquiline? We're ready done. We're just shouting out everybody. We got Legion Tactical. He does the guns. He customized guns. Yep, his little pew-pews. On that, y'all have a good night. We love you guys.
All right.
If y'all know anybody that needs to be picked up, pick them up. Stay positive, like JC said. Stay positive.
Right.
On that note, we out. Y'all have a good night. Love you guys.
See you.
Like, subscribe, bell, smash the bell, comment down